watching Dante's Boxing Nation.
That's gonna be a toss-up, but I don't know. I'm gonna have to go Ryan. He's my countryman, man. I'm gonna go him.
Dante's Boxing Nation, what's going on, guys? So that was Fernando Vargas Jr. Giving his take on a potential fight between Teofimo Lopez and Ryan Garcia. And you heard what he said. He got to go with his countryman, Ryan Garcia, representing Mexico. Now, I told you guys for years, despite the media and boxing fans trying to make it seem like the biggest rivalry in the sport of boxing is Mexico versus Puerto Rico, I've always told you guys the reality is the biggest rivalry in the sport of boxing is USA versus Mexico. A Black American fighter versus a Mexican fighter or a Mexican American fighter. Well, Bob Arum, he did a recent interview and pretty much corroborated that. Bob was promoting the Devin Haney versus Lomachenko fight. He was asked by a reporter, what's your thoughts on the winner fighting against Shakur Stevenson? He said to Bob, you know, if the winner, for example, if it's Devin Haney, which a lot of people believe Devin will beat Lomachenko, if Devin fought against Shakur Stevenson, that would definitely make their stock rise even more, the winner of that fight. Or actually both of them, win, lose, or draw. So when the reporter said that to Bob, this is what Bob said in return.
Shakur Stevenson fight or not, that will raise their stock, you know, that would make them a more on-demand type fighter.
Well, you know, yeah, I think so. But again, it's one step at a time. One step at a time.
Yeah.
You know, it's sad, but it's true. You know, you'd want some Hispanic element in a fight because they're big fans.
Of course, Puerto Rican.
What?
He's coming out with the Puerto Rican
Shakur
flag.
is half Puerto Rican.
Okay, so the first thing you notice is Bob Arum. He took that as a joke when the reporter said, well, Shakur is Puerto Rican. And Bob, he was like, yeah, he's half Puerto Rican, meaning he doesn't really see him as Puerto Rican at all. But that does have a lot to do with Shakur Stevenson himself, because if Shakur had been promoting himself as Puerto Rican from the time he turned pro, then he would be accepted more by the Puerto Rican fan base. But to just wake up one day and start repping the flag, it's not as effective. You're not going to be looked at like a Miguel Cotto or Tito Trinidad, obviously. And while Danny Garcia definitely has more Puerto Rican support than Shakur Stevenson does, he's still not looked at as a full Puerto Rican fighter. See, the Puerto Rican fan base is not like the Mexican fan base. When it comes to the Mexican fan base, if you're Mexican, you're Mexican. It doesn't matter if you were born in Mexico, if you were born in America. This is the reason why David Benavidez, he reps the Mexican flag. This is the reason why Fernando Vargas Jr. is saying, you know, I got to root for my countrymen. I've got to go with my countrymen when it comes to Ryan Garcia. This is the reason why all the fans that are sitting at a Virgil Ortiz or Ryan Garcia fight are Mexican, at least 98% of them. Because Mexican is Mexican. It doesn't matter where you're born. That's how they see it. Puerto Ricans, they don't see it the same way. So with that being said, when Bob Arum says, you know, it's sad but true, but you really want some type of Hispanic element to be a part of the fight. And when he says that, he's really talking about Mexican fans, because we know the largest Hispanic fan base in the sport of boxing is the Mexican fan base. Bob Arum is basically saying that race sells, which is true. Race definitely sells in the sport of boxing. I tell you guys all the time, this sport is based on race, nationality, and pride. So it's true, a black fighter versus a Latino fighter, or anyone that's not black, is definitely going to help when it comes to ticket sales and views. And we know that whenever a black fighter is fighting against a Mexican fighter or any other Latino, it's the Mexican fans that are going to come out and support the Latino fighter and root against the black fighter. Like when Floyd Mayweather fought against Maidana, or like when Jermell Charlo fought Brian Castano. And there's nothing wrong with that. So while it is true that race does sell in the sport of boxing, we know that when it comes to the lightweight division, the main fight that all the fans are talking about is Devin Haney versus Shakur Stevenson, or Shakur Stevenson versus Gervonta Tank Davis, right? Gervonta versus Devin Haney, however you want to mix them up. which would be an all-American affair. We all know that if Devin Haney were to beat Lomachenko, and let's just say he fights against Gervonta Tank Davis next, Gervonta beats Ryan Garcia, that will be the biggest fight in the sport of boxing. Just like right now, Errol Spence versus Terrence Crawford is the biggest fight in the entire sport. So at the end of the day, like I said, race does sell. And you would want to have some non-black fighter or even Hispanic fighter in the mix. But when it comes to the point that Bob Arum was making, because remember, he was pretty much talking about a potential fight with Shakur Stevenson and Devin Haney. In that situation, everyone would prefer Devin Haney versus Shakur Stevenson as opposed to a Devin Haney versus a Jojo Diaz fight when they fought, or a Shakur Stevenson versus an Oscar Valdez when they fought. Boxing fans would prefer Errol Spence versus Terrence Crawford over Errol Spence versus Virgil Ortiz, and so on and so forth. Whenever you have two fighters that are on the pound-for-pound list, there's no doubt about it. Boxing fans, at least 9 times out of 10, are going to prefer to watch that fight over any other fight just because it includes a Hispanic element. That's all I got for now, guys. I'm on to the next one. All right, now check this out, guys. If you're looking to repair eczema scars, burns and bruises, dark spots and blemishes, fever blisters, diabetic ulcers, this right here is the perfect product for you guys. It's called LO Decay Face and Body Oil. Athletes and top-ranking boxers, they're also using it after training to reduce swelling, inflammation, and to ease the pain. So get yours today. Go to lodecay.com, like them on Facebook, and follow them on Instagram.
One of the most anticipated dog breedings has finally been confirmed. The pups from this pairing of Zeta and DMX will be born very soon. We are now accepting deposits. Our pups will come with ears cropped and a 2-year health guarantee. Get ahead of the pack on purchasing a puppy by contacting NWA Cane Corsos on Instagram at NWA Cane Corsos. Call or text 479-326-1603 with any questions. A guard dog is your first line of defense. These will be the right pups for the job.
Let me tell you guys about Issa Israel Law Firm. It is a full-service legal practice based in Denver, Colorado, an emerging hub for combat sports and high-altitude training. If you're a fighter inside or outside of the ring and you need a law firm you can trust to fight for you, visit thefighterfirm.com or email help@iilawfirm.com. Legal representation is usually limited to plaintiffs or defendants in Colorado, but iFirm can help anyone in the world with trademarking their business name, logos, and U.S. immigration issues. This brother has been my attorney for a while and helped guide me through all kinds of business and civil issues. So make sure you guys go to thefighterfirm.com.
My name is Chris, and I'm all the way here from Anchorage, Alaska at Scalp, Carolinas, and I'm here for my second treatment of SMP. Well, I was sitting at home one day and going over my Facebook page, and they have different, like advertisements popping up, and I saw one for SMP. And I saw some pictures of some guys, before and after, and I was looking at that, and it caught my attention. So I Googled it. SMP, nothing showed up in my area. So, I did a little more research, and all of a sudden, Scalp Carolinas popped up in the web browser. So I started watching his videos and seeing all the reaction from all the other people. We talked on the phone, we made appointments and everything. I sent him pictures, and he looked at them, and I was like, can you fix this? And, he pretty much said, no problem. My first session, he made me feel extremely comfortable. It was almost like I was talking to family. He started, and during the whole treatment, we talked and, about our families and our life, and, and things that he does and things that I do. And before I know it, the first session was over. When you see someone doing something that they love, as much as I see Enoch Glover love what he does, it shows in his work. I wouldn't point anyone in any other direction but here to North Carolina, Scalp Carolinas, to get this done.